it's not about that you adopt another religion. It's about respect them, know them, and be a friend of them. So this kind of session is, even in school, hospital, clinics, politics, everywhere. Even if I'm a patient, so even on the form means when I have to take admission in the colleges, why to fill that religion, caste, and everything? Because it's a part of politics. Leader do not want to erase this line from every scenario of the society. So I think this is the basic improvement we need in India.
Yeah, well, absolutely, Vineet. Well said too. Because politics is so divided, and because democracy means going out and getting votes, and then that means about vote banks. So you have to cater to different constituencies. So Muslim leaders would want Muslim votes. Jat, we have different castes. So this is governed by religion, caste, region, and many biases. So, and of course, I'm sure in South America, for instance, or North America, things would be different. There are, of course, they're liberals, and they're moderates, and they're conservatives. There's left politics and there's right politics. But essentially, I find it more egalitarian because it's based on haves and have-nots or the economic groups, so to speak, not necessarily religious groups. But even in the US, we know how patriarchal it's been of late, how racist it can be in parts, what kind of politics Donald Trump is talking about. It is shocking, really, for even for people like us who are used to much worse politics in India. So, how do you explain that? How do you explain the rise and ascent of Donald Trump, for instance?
that's that's the questions all Americans are asking right
Yes, I
now.
want to know.
Um, it's very interesting. The United States has a two-party system: Democrats, which are more liberal, and Republicans, which are more conservative. Uh, I think what has happened in the Republican Party, the Conservative Party, it's very usually compromised by wealthy elites, right? That was the people who dominated the party, but their constituency was white working class people. What has happened in the United States is that the economic status of the average American has degraded. It has gone down over recent years, and the Republican Party, the right wing, has seen their party as a failure. So they are not right now looking for someone who is part of the establishment, part of the Republican establishment. They want someone new that can share the anger that they have. And when they see Donald Trump, they see someone who kind of lived the American dream. He's a billionaire actually. So he sees someone who knows how to. They see someone who knows how to make wealth, create money. So they like that about him. Oftentimes, what happens in the United States, there's a lot of immigration to the United States. Um, and a lot of people, especially white working class individuals, they see immigration as immigrants are taking my job.
As a threat.
They're taking my job. They're the reason why my economic status has declined. So they blame them. They're a scapegoat, the immigrants. I study economics. There is no positive, statistically significant correlation between immigration and unemployment. So that is not true. Their reasoning, while it makes sense logically. There's more people coming. They're taking my jobs. Economically, that's not how the world works. But they see Donald Trump. He says, "Oh, Mexicans. I'm Mexican, by the way." They say they're rapists. They're taking your jobs. They're ruining America. Things like that. And when you have a racist mentality, and you feel like these people are to blame for taking your job, of course you're going to vote for a person like Donald Trump because he seems to confirm your belief. Um, and he is saying, well, we're going to get rid of immigrants, we're going to deport people. And not only that, he's also playing on the fear of those people. Um, Terrorism plays a huge conversation. After 9/11, terrorism has been in the spotlight. What Donald Trump has been saying is he's going to put a ban on Muslims coming into the United States, and he also wants to have a database that'll track where Muslims are, as if we could do that. And these people hear that, and they're like, okay, I'm going to vote for that guy because he's going to keep me safe. He's going to prevent the Muslims from hurting us. So he's very much playing on people's fears and misperceptions of how the economy works.
I mean, really, it's a xenophobia of a sinister kind.
Yeah.
And that would include so many of us. I mean, I'm a Muslim myself. Like you said, you have from Mexico, you have the origins from there. So I find it very fascinating because America had for the last 8 years, 7.5 now almost, um, a black president, half Muslim. So this, do you think this is a complete shift, so to speak? And just when you think there is evolution in the way people look at leadership, and that there is acceptance of somebody who's not the same color or the same race,
Mhm.
and then after that, you see a completely plummeting of those standards, and you have somebody like Donald Trump. So
Mhm.
isn't it very disappointing? I mean, is it like the opposite of evolution, if at all, for the people of America from their point of view?
In a sense, it is. In 2008, when Barack Obama was elected, a lot of people thought we're going to enter like a new age of American politics, where color doesn't matter anymore, things like that. Um, but when not Donald, when Barack Obama became president, we also faced the largest recession in the United States since the Great Depression, caused by the financial crisis of 2008. Um, and when a lot of individuals when the recession happened, there was a housing bust. A lot of people lost their homes, lost their life savings, they lost everything, and they saw Barack Obama as president. You know, when the average American, when their standards of living go down, who do they blame? The president. He's not doing enough. He's not a good leader. So there has really been a resurgence in conservative politics in the United States, despite the fact that we have a very liberal president. Um, we can't exclude things like the Tea Party movement, which started as a result of the Great Recession in 2008. So there's been a lot of buildup in the past 8 years, and we're finally seeing that buildup of conservative Tea Party politics. Um, we're seeing them grow, and now it's starting to materialize through the rise of Donald Trump and people like him.
Nadia, we just heard first from Vineet as to how voters are divided on the basis of religion, caste, patriarchal standards, and what have you. And now, the what's happening in the U.S. The liberals versus the more conservative, this whole xenophobic politics and how it's dividing people, and looking at different sections of society, looking at each other with mistrust, distrust, lack of confidence, and empathy. What has been your experience in South America? And how do you reach out to to the young to fight these biases for a more egalitarian politics, for a more liberal kind of politics?
Um, I need to start. We need to break paradigms. The young people need to break paradigms. Why? In South America, and especially in Colombia, have a lot of people and have a lot of system politics and have a lot of corruption. So it's the cause with the young people we create participation and groups for advice to the government. But in this moment, we advise it's not possible listen with the government because the government don't listen to young people many times. So in Colombia, for example, if compare United States, Barack Obama broke paradigms. It's a new age. It's a new political vision. Uh, I will like in Colombia the the young people thinks that's created by political parties to get educated. In the exact rehearsal, the originals and achievements of political parties after this process, we need to believe again in the government and create new models politicals if you have education, if you want to participate in the government. It's very different in other countries, but this is the challenge. How you knowledge in the other countries, how you create a good ideology or a good system politics if you integrate the politics in India and United States. If we don't compare with religions or with a system politics, it's just we believe that we need to integrate, total integrate, a good ideas in the government. if you integrate a good ideas, it's sure we need a good future, and we need to good participation, and we to give more education, more young people in the politics, more women in the politics. But we need believe that if totally integrate different ideologies in the society, we believe that we can join a good new model politics. But this is the reason. The reason title dissertation is Youth Adverse Politics. Yeah, it's a challenge. Why the young people no participate? Because we don't believe. We have different barriers. Yeah. So if you total integrate different ideology, we have a new model. No democracy, but it's different participation in the government. But it's just we need to believe that total integrate ideologies and break paradigms.
So you feel breaking paradigms is important, and there has to be more integration. No, I agree with you, but the nature of politics is divisive, is to divide. That's how you get your own. So it's a tough call, really, there. Tell me more about South America. I mean, we've seen Cristina Hernandez in Argentina, and of course, Dilma, the Brazilian president, who's a woman. So, is it still patriarchal there? Because India is very patriarchal. You know, the women who really make it almost always are either daughters or wives or widows of very extremely powerful men. You know, they got to have the last name of an important man. Then to be their own, they're not their own person, so to speak. I mean, it's unfair to say that. We have a lot of chief ministers in India, and women in the cabinet too. But most of them owe their political legacy, so to speak, to the benefactors, people from their families. How does it work? This whole thing of machista in South American politics, and how do young women leaders fight it out?
We can have a different democracy, because if you look at in this moment, Brazil have another situation, and the president is a woman, so have like a crisis, political crisis now. Yes, but in Chile or Peru, Bolivia is very different to Colombia, because as the system political in the society have another ideology, but the end, the situation is all Jones participate, but depend the situation and the government. So it's no democracy. It's not a good situation, because you need to depend the government and the skills, and I don't know, for example, in Colombia, you need to create a movement if you want to listen to the government. In Bolivia, is another situation, because the country thinking about the community, the all population participate, yes, but the real situation